Hi, how are we all doing? So just a little bit of a mini kind of update really with the Cineworld, what's going on. Sorry if the sound quality is not as good as normal. I've got my AirPods in instead of my normal clip microphone, so it might just make it be a little bit different. But if I was to do it my normal way, then there was no chance there was going to be the video up because it takes about something like, you know, an hour to film and then an hour to edit, 2 hours to render, and then another 2 hours to export, and then a bit longer to upload everything, and it just doesn't happen. So by the time it happens, it's like 6 p.m. Monday night, and everything's kind of gone on. I don't know if you guys were after like what's going on with like Cineworld, so thought it'd be good just to do like a little mini update. And like I said, sorry the quality is not up to like what I normally do. It's just that if I didn't do it this way, there was pretty much no other way that it was going to happen. But yeah, kind of like what's going on with Cineworld. Obviously, it was kind of out of the blue over the weekend, and it looks like it's going to be a bit of a bad day really for Cineworld. So the kind of headlines, there's loads out there, but basically Cineworld are looking to shut down the UK screens until next year. Most of it's due because of the James Bond delay. Obviously people are not going to go to the cinema because there's not new releases, and obviously with the whole COVID situation, there's not a lot of footfall going to the cinemas. And when I went the other day as well, it was pretty dead, to be fair. I'm just going to say this right now, the video that came out today, the UK portfolio, was actually supposed to be Monday's video, but I had to move it to Sunday because otherwise it would have been out of date with the whole Cineworld thing. So this video is actually Monday's video, so I won't be uploading at 5 p.m. on Monday. This video is going to count as a Monday upload. But yeah, obviously the Cineworld situation, it's decided that, look, there's no movies coming out, people aren't coming, it's just doesn't make sense for us to open up until these new releases come out, shut the doors, try save money. And the big problem that Cineworld does currently have now is that it probably doesn't have enough cash to get through to when a lot of these releases are getting put back to, like the James Bond, for example. So you can see the way that Cineworld are trying to do it. They're trying to save money and try and give it the longer life, for example. But it's been a complete mess in general. Like, you know, we were having this chat on the Discord group today about it, and personally I think that obviously when you're offering like restaurants help out to eat out scenarios, and the cinemas were later opening and they get nothing, you know, what people are going to go to? They're going to go to the restaurant, they're going to go to the cinema. Obviously the later opening, for example, masks, the delay in movies. I mean, movies are kind of fault, you know. You know, if they keep delaying these movies, how many of these cinemas are going to be around when the movies come out, for example? And, you know, why not offer some sort of package where, you know, you buy the film and you can renew this token and watch it on Disney Plus, or you can take it to the cinema and watch it at the cinema, and then the movie's still coming out, still getting made, and cinemas can still have new releases, and people that don't want to go to the cinema can watch it on a streaming platform. I think, like, you've got to look at some of the production side of it and say they've not really supported the cinemas as much as what they should have done, and as well as them not supporting the cinemas as much as what they should have done. Obviously the government as well, I think, could have been a little bit more supportive to the industry, but at the same time we knew that cinemas were going to be in a bad place. You know, they weren't in a great position going into it, were they? You know, we knew when a few of us that were buying into Cineworld, like, I've never said Cineworld to buy, I've always called Cineworld a spec stock. You know, there's massive risk, there's massive reward, it's one of them's going to happen. And that's the thing, you know, quite often when you say big rewards, people forget about the big risks. And, you know, you can always leave 10% in your portfolio to speculatively plays, just like how I've got with Lordstown Motors, Carnival, Workhorse. Those are like my US ones. The only UK one really that I had was Cineworld, because like I said, I think on the last video, I think I said there was 25% of it going bankrupt, which is very high. You know, it's kind of getting to gambling. After all this now, with the delay, with the movie's delay, obviously it's probably relying on a bailout from either some lenders or the government. I think there is potential that the government will potentially bail them out, and that might give the stock a lift in general. But overall, they're going to need probably a bailout now, and I think the government probably will give it to them. But I think because of the whole situation now with the delay in movies and everything like that, I've got to say that I think from previously where I said there was a 25% chance of it going bankrupt, I've got to say it's about 50-50 now, which is definitely, you know, obviously, you know, really, really risky if you're investing into it. Well, it's not investing really, so, you know, 50-50 is kind of gambling really. So obviously it's kind of changed a little bit, and that's the one news that I didn't really want to hear from Cineworld, or in general, that some of these key movies were going to get delayed, because that's what you know, it needed the new releases to get people into the cinemas. So obviously that's going to take a massive toll on Cineworld right now. So I think from the point of view here is now we're down to a 50-50 shot whether this company makes it. And for me, that's quite a high gamble, and I'm expecting quite a big red day tomorrow. I think that, or whenever this video goes up, it might be early morning of Monday, so it might be today. So it is a big gamble now, and like I say, I always had it as a small position, and people were asking me, am I going to buy more? And I didn't want to buy more because I just wanted to keep it a small position for the risk. So from my point of view now it's gone to 50-50 shot. I'm actually going to sell my position tomorrow, just because I think it's just a lot more risky now with how much cash it has to raise. You know, even if there's one more knockback in the movies, absolute killer for Cineworld. So I think there's just a lot more risk now, and I know I'll probably take a little bit of hit on it, but to be honest with you, the money that I had in it wasn't huge anyway, so I'm totally fine with it. What I'm probably going to do is actually take that money now and put it in Hollywood Bowl. I think if you do have money, you could wait it out if you really wanted to. You know, if it makes it through, then there's still going to be massive upside in this, but your period of waiting now is just going to be, you know, even longer. You know, you're going to have to keep it in there for at least over a year to probably even get break even. Whereas I probably see something like Hollywood Bowl, where I'm going to put the money now, as something that will probably recover a little bit quicker than what's going on here. And yeah, it's kind of ugly, you know. Probably see some cinema closures as well going forward with what's going on, which isn't great. So yeah, I think that it's just a lot of risk now, and personally, to be honest with you, I might consider putting a short position on Cineworld tomorrow, and that might kind of even out my losses on this one. So I might do that. I'm a little bit undecided right now. I'll see what happens tomorrow, but yeah, I'm definitely going to sell out my position in Cineworld tomorrow. And yeah, it's just one of those, you know. It was a spec play. It only made up you know, a couple of percent of the portfolio, and sometimes you get big rewards, sometimes you get the big losses, and unfortunately this looks like it's going to be one of them. But yeah, it's just one of those, you know. As long as you played it right and you didn't go all in, and you know, you didn't put that much in, you put money in that you're willing to lose, that's fine. I think by the time I put it back in Hollywood Bowl and Hollywood Bowl goes back up to where it should be, then it probably cover the losses. And if I do play a short position, maybe that will kind of cover the losses as well. We'll see what happens, but I think it is going to be a bit of a bloodbath for Cineworld tomorrow. I could see the share price going down to 20, maybe 25. Obviously, you know, the earnings were horrible, burning through more cash, and we talk about a company as well that had a pretty bad balance sheet going into this, which is, you know, what I've always said, you know, it's going to be probably the first of a few stocks that have these bad balance sheets in this situation. It's just one of those that, unfortunately, it kind of got killed because of other things that weren't their fault, really, I guess. So yeah, bit of a bad one for Cineworld, because some of the things why it's in this position, obviously the CV, but obviously I think there's been a few external things that haven't helped it, which could do. I think, you know, the whole film industry hasn't come together that well in this situation, and I think also, like I say, I think the government could have maybe supported them a little bit better. You know, you got, you know, eat out to help out thing, but you know, there were nothing for this sort of industry or anything like this. We've seen it with many other things as well, you know, concerts, football stadiums. So yeah, I mean, it's his own fault for having a bad balance sheet, but it hasn't been helped in this situation as well, I guess. So anyway, yeah, that's my update on Cineworld. Like I say, I'm probably going to start my position anyway tomorrow, so hope you enjoyed a little mini update. As always, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you on the next one.